Probably one of the most common questions that I'm receiving either in the comments or via my social medias is, what stockbroker should I be choosing? And that's why in today's video, I want to be reviewing two of arguably the most popular brokers out there, which are Interactive Brokers and Trading 212. Compare the two amongst different categories, ease of use, fees, overall experience, etc. And in the end, share with you my recommendation as to which one you should be using depending on your situation. Now, full disclosure, I'm using both of them, so I can really give you my own personal opinion. Obviously, I really believe in both of them. They have many similarities, but there are also big differentiations between those two. I think one might be better suited to the other, and hopefully I'll clear these things up in this video. And first off, let's start with the available countries, because sometimes, myself, I've been there, I watch broker reviews, I get all excited, I want to start signing up, and then I see, well, it's not available in your country, which is unfortunate, but I would argue that those two are some of the most globally available brokers out there. But really, I have to give the point over here to Interactive Brokers. I mean, look at all those available countries over here. It's just unbelievable. Probably, if you're located in a less popular country that is not served by so many brokers or big brokers out there, most likely you're still going to be covered by Interactive Brokers, which is really amazing. And the good thing is also, for people who travel and move around a lot like myself, I lived in many different countries, I can basically move to another country and my account can move and relocate with me, which is really, really powerful. By the way, guys, if any of you watching is from Wallis and Fortuna Islands, I never heard about the place, would be interested to hear, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you if you visited. I mean, it shows you even the smallest of islands, it's possible for you to open an account with Interactive Brokers. So I think that would really be your go-to choice if it's all about global availability for you. Now, having said that, Trading 212 is improving year on year. They have added many more countries over the years. You can see also many different countries over there. Obviously, the overall selection is smaller than Interactive Brokers, but still a very big offering for many, many countries out there. However, if you happen to be from the US, unfortunately, currently Trading 212 is not operating in the US. So then your choice is very simple. You can stop the video right now because sadly, Trading 212 won't be working for US citizens, US tax citizens based in the US. But yeah, anyone from any of those countries, keep watching because you will see quite some differentiations there. With this, we move to the next category, and these are fees and commissions. That's obviously very important for a broker because, obviously you want to have a broker that charges you as little fees and commissions as possible, because that comes out of your own profitability, right? The more fees you pay, the less your returns will be. So naturally, you want to find a broker that really minimizes those fees. And here I can really say both are doing an amazing job. And that's also one of the big reasons why I'm using both of those brokers myself, because they're really considered some of the lowest cost brokers out there. Now, they're not completely free. And I also want to mention, if you have a broker that charges you absolutely zero, no foreign exchange fees, no commissions, no spreads, no nothing, then you have to ask yourself, how do they actually make money, right? And I understand that is a competitive space and fees have been coming down. I remember when I bought my first stock, 10 years ago in the bank, I paid 20 euros to buy a US stock. Obviously, the competition has really driven those prices down, but I think it's still important that you have a low cost broker, but zero cost. I'm not sure that's always the most sustainable, because you want your broker to be operating for the next 10, 20, 30 years, all the while you're investing, right? But let's have a look how those two brokers compare. Right, and here we start off with Trading 212, and they make it very transparent, which I like, right? On the website, you want to be seeing exactly how much are the fees, because some brokers, I noticed, they're also hiding it somewhere in the fine print, and you want to really see this front and center. So obviously, Trading 212 has two options. They have the invest, which most people use, long-term investors. If you just want to buy and hold and trade a little bit, you can use the invest feature. They also have CFD trading, which are kind of options where you can also short stocks. So this is really for day trader and frequent traders. And honestly, I wouldn't really recommend it for most of you, but I'm myself also a long-term investor, so really let's look at that, the investing part of things over here. And you can see right away, trading commissions, zero. And that's the beauty of Trading 212. They do not charge you any kind of commissions on stocks or ETFs. And I really love that about the experience because those fees that you save really add up over time in your own favor, which is great. There's no custody fee. And honestly, if any broker these days charges you a custody fee, run away, close the broker, because basically it's a percentage of your overall holding with the broker. So the bigger your amount is, the bigger the fee you will be paying for your broker. And ultimately, you keep your money with them. They should be thankful and grateful that you have your business with them, right? But yes, luckily, you see more and more brokers moving away from it, but there's still some brokers out there, and especially traditional banks, that still charge a custody fee. So if yours is, then definitely reconsider your choices and maybe consider another broker. Then the only fee that they currently do charge is a very small FX fee, currency conversion fee. So for example, you have a Euro account, you send your euros into there, but then for example, you want to buy some ETFs or stocks in dollars, then you would have to convert your dollars, right? You can also send dollars right away, but actually the conversion fee of 0.15% is really, really good. And in some cases, it even beats Revolut and Wise. It might actually be cheaper for you to do the conversion here rather than, as I said, on Revolut and Wise, and then send it, where you still have some maybe transfer fees and charges to be paid. So I think it's really, really competitive, very transparent, and yeah, I quite like that. And for example, it's even on weekends, while on Revolut, on the weekend, they have a 1% surcharge. So it's actually really attractive. And then also they make it very transparent for deposits and withdrawals. Obviously, deposits via bank transfers, they're free of charge, which most brokers should be offering that options. Once again, if they charge you for that, that's crazy, run away. And also withdrawals cost absolutely zero, which is really cool. And again, I've seen some brokers that charge you. So that's something I really enjoy about trading 212. Obviously, they really go down and describe many, many other fees over here, related card fees and so on. Just one thing to keep in mind, also minimum transaction fees. It's all €1 basically for depositing, withdrawing, and buying and selling. It's all €1. With this in mind, let's have a look at interactive brokers. And here it already starts a little bit more overwhelming, which you'll see is kind of the theme of interactive brokers. As much as I love them and obviously use them myself, it is everything a little bit more complicated than sometimes I think it should be. Anyhow, firstly, see all the various products they have here. And obviously each product has a different pricing, right? So depending on what you click in, obviously you get different pricing. So let's imagine we want to go for stocks and ETFs. I guess that's what most people want to invest in. And from here, you can choose, the area and region you're in. Let's say in this case, we choose Europe and Middle East. And here you can find your respective country. And it's really broken down by country. So each country has slightly different numbers. A lot of them are similar, but still double check for whatever country you're in. But since I also live part of the year in Lithuania, I can share from a Lithuanian perspective the fees over here. And you also have to consider there's two different pricing models. And in most cases, I recommend you to go with tiered. Fixed only makes sense if you really have large volumes, and you can change it in the settings. I think by default it's fixed, but now I changed it to tiered, and you see the percentage actually goes down. So if you trade less than 50, million a year, which probably if you trade more than that, I'm not sure why you would be watching my videos. So most likely, I guess most of us would be falling in that category. So in this case, it would be 0.05% of the trade volume, right? If it's fixed, it's 0.2%. So you can see already 4 times higher. So in this case, you might actually be better off going with the tiered option over here. And as your volume increases, that goes down further. The minimum, however, will be €1.25. So there's no way around. And unfortunately, that's what it is, especially if I buy ETFs. I buy a UCITS ETF listed in London, and I usually pay around €1.50. So yes, this round I think goes very clearly to Trading 212. Overall, the fees are much easier to understand and much lower in many ways. So if you're all about fees and you're starting off with a smaller volume, then I think you're much better off with Trading 212, because those fees, if you have small amounts to invest, if you invest €100 a month, let's say, then €1.50 in my case, right? It starts adding into your profitability. If of course your investment volume increases, then eventually, these numbers become less meaningful, because then €1.50 out of, €5,000 that you invest, for example, it's almost nothing, right? So it really depends on you and your monthly investing volume. With this, let's move on to the ease of use and the platform experience overall between the two. Starting off with interactive brokers. And right off the bat, you can see it's a little bit overwhelming, especially for beginners. They often tell me, Guy, I just don't get it. It's so complicated, right? Once you go into the portfolio and you try to buy a stock even, it looks so intimidating, right? You'll see the charts, there's so many buttons, things are lighting up and blinking. And even if you want to buy, it's not just you put the number, what you want to buy, you have different order types and time and force. So it's really not as straightforward as you would know from other platforms, for example, like Trading 212, Lightyear, and of course, we'll speak about in a second, Trading 212. So in many ways, when you look at it the first time, it can really be intimidating. You have all these performance analyst reports. It's also extremely powerful, but the first time you see this, it can be really overwhelming. And that's why, honestly, I think for pure beginners who never bought a first stock or an ETF in their life, I think it may not be your best bet, because it's just a little bit too overwhelming. Now, having said that, over the years, they have improved a lot. When I first started it a couple of years, it was even worse, to be honest, really not attractive on the eye, and they really gotten much better, I can say that. And even now they have different apps. In fact, they have 3 apps. I made a whole video around which app might be most suitable for you if you use interactive brokers. The good thing is you can try all of them. You can use the same logins basically. And one of them is called Global Trader. And here you see they really went all the way to make it a bit more easy and strip out a lot of the complicated things. So here it's a little bit more similar than some of the other, neo brokers. Really have the most essential things without being overwhelming. So if that's important for you, you still want to use interactive brokers, but you don't want to have all the fluff and bells and whistles around, then definitely that could be a great app for you to use it on your phone on the go. Now, when we switch to Trading 212, on the other hand, it's really such a fun and joy to use that platform. Honestly, I just love how simple and easy and smooth it is. And yeah, I mean, look at my portfolio over here. You can see at the top my total portfolio. I can click into this, see what is and where, the free funds. I have my different currencies over here. I see exactly how much interest I get on each. So it's so user-friendly, so straightforward. I can see the little green dot here right away. Okay, it means the markets are open. I click into this, I see what the stocks are doing, my returns on each position. If I want to buy more, I just click on buy over here, say how much. I can even just slide over here and then review order, and you will see right away commission is free. Boom, if I'm happy with this, I go ahead. And it's just, such a breeze, even for beginners. I'm showing my wife how to do it and she knew right away. It's just so intuitive. And that's what I love about the platform. And best of all, again, not having fees on it really makes it a compelling choice, especially for beginners. Now, they only have one app, which probably is also a smart way not to overwhelm people with 3 apps. So you have only one app, but you can also have the same experience and use it on the web browser if you wanted to. To be fair, it's pretty much the same things you can do on the phone, just on the website. But yeah, if you prefer doing it there, you can do the same over there as well. So yeah, you have those 2 options there. So this round, once again, goes definitely to Trading 212, especially for beginners. Once you get the hang, however, and you're more experienced, after a while, I think the learning curve is a bit steeper with interactive brokers. But once you know where to go and what to click on, I think eventually it's equally powerful, probably more powerful with interactive brokers because they have so many more features and reports and deep dives. But the learning curve is steeper. So if you're willing to invest some time to learn the ins and outs, long term, you might actually be better off with interactive brokers. Next up, we move to the available instruments that you can trade on either of the platforms. Obviously, we've seen over here on interactive brokers the number of products that you can trade from stocks and ETFs to options, futures, spot currencies, cryptocurrencies. Yes, you can even trade crypto. You can't really own it, but you can buy into crypto ETFs and what have you, even metals, bonds, and even mutual funds. So many different options. And when you go into specific stock or ETF that you're looking for example, myself, I'm buying the State Street S&P 500 UCITS ETF, which is called SPY 5. And you can see here a number of different stock markets that I can buy it from. EBS, I believe it's Switzerland, Frankfurt, IBIS 2, and then you also have London. So that also means in different currencies, on different stock exchanges. So honestly, here on interactive brokers, most likely you're going to be finding anything anywhere around the world that you're looking for. And actually, if you go into the settings under trading permissions, you can really say what you want to be trading, and then also access different markets. For example, if you want to trade stocks, you can go into here and see all the various stock markets that you want to be trading, because sometimes you don't want to see all those stocks every time you put a symbol in there. So in order to reduce it, you might want to untick some of the stock markets. Or if you're specifically wanting to invest in Denmark, then make sure you tick it, right? So you can invest there as well. So you can see, such a wide selection and variety of places and instruments that you can trade on. So honestly, this round really goes to interactive brokers, even though at the same time, honestly, anything that I ever wanted to buy in the past, I could always find it over here on Trading 212. They have really, obviously, the most popular, the most commonly traded, but also in terms of ETFs, such a variety of ETFs. You can see the different thematic ETFs, even for real estate. You can really filter commodity ETFs, whatever you're looking for. You can look by sort of countries over here. So I really like that they have these themes and make it more visual, right? So right away, you can see what is included in these, and they have different lists. So overall, honestly, you can see obviously at the bottom over here, browse all stocks and ETFs. So if you go to stocks, you can see all the possible stocks they have. And then you can filter by the different markets, right? So you have really all the various markets. If you want to invest into the Portuguese market, well, you can see over here, Euronext Lisbon, and then you see all the various stocks that are listed there. So honestly, in many ways, it's very similar. Overall, if you're really looking for something more specific, then you'll probably be better off on interactive brokers. But if you look for the most common ETFs and stocks, you will just as well find them over here on Trading 212. Now, next up, let's talk about customer support. And I'm really happy to share that actually I can't really speak too much about this because I didn't have any issues with either of the brokers, so I didn't have many needs to contact them. I did have a couple of occasions, so I can share with you how my feedback was. So with interactive brokers, you just click on help over here. And from here, obviously, you have some problems that you can look for, etc., video tutorials, and you can also click on contact us over here. Then you have different options. Then you can either have phone support. I haven't actually had that. You can do chat as well. You can send an email or web tickets. Then you have also chat room. That's nice. Obviously, you have to go through and see what kind of issue you're facing. So yeah, again, it's a little bit clunky, but it does the job. So I didn't have any issues. issue. I had twice, I think, an interaction with them, and it was fairly quickly solved. And yeah, so I'm overall, happy with it, but not like super impressed. Like for example with Revolut, right? I'm on the highest ultra plan, and they even call me back if I had an issue. So that's really cool. But it does the job. On Trading 212 on the other side, it's very simple. It's inside the app. It's just called Chat with Us. And then yeah, basically all you do, click on Start a new chat. And there you go. You start chatting with them. Usually, like most of the supports these days, they try to keep you within the AI agent conversation. But usually what I say over here, I always ask for live agent. Then they still try to ask you a little bit for a question. And then boom, a second later, you see a human will be with you. And then right away, I start chatting with a human. So I always enjoyed that. And it's just so nice because even if I close my phone, I keep on doing what I do. I can get a pop-up notification. I see already the preview of the text, which is very much different to interactive brokers, which I felt when I logged out, then the chat was gone. And it's just a bit more messy. So really overall, both of them do a good job in solving the problem, but the overall experience, I think definitely here goes to Trading 212. Next up, let's look at some of the other benefits that the broker or platform offers you apart from stock trading, which is, I think, also interesting. Obviously, I want a broker that's really focused on stock trading, but at the same time, I do enjoy some perks that they offer alongside that, right? For example, high interest rates on your uninvested cash. Now on the Interactive Brokers website, you see here for the various currencies, let's say with the euro case, for example, if you have less than 10,000 euros sitting over there, unfortunately, you get 0%, just like my local bank pays me, which is obviously not very attractive. Over 10,000 euros, you can get up to 3.2%, which is really, better than nothing, obviously. But actually, I think there are way better options out there. Even Lightyear, Revolut, Trade Republic, Trading 212, they all pay me way more, and you'll see that in a second. And apart from that, Interactive Brokers really doesn't have much more to offer. They don't have a card or any other great benefits. They really focus on doing stock trading and ETF trading and long-term investing. They do that great, but the rest of the benefits are really not that impressive. Now, on the contrary, with Trading 212, you see I'm getting interest on my money that's waiting to be invested. So what I do is when I have some money, I send it from my bank account, Revolut, into Trading 212. And while it sits here waiting to be invested, because usually I invest every single week, so that means I still have quite a bit of money sitting here doing nothing, right? So in the meantime, it actually collects interest. You can see currently on my euros, I'm getting 4.2%. That's the highest interest rate I've seen on any euro-based account inside of Europe, basically, which is really attractive. On my dollars, I'm actually getting 5.1%, and on the pounds, 5.2%. So that's the beauty of it. And that's paid out to you, as you can see over here, every single day. That's paid into my account. And the great thing is there's no lockup period. I can withdraw it anytime I wish. So I really love that feature. You can also see how they hold your money very transparently. So I really love that. And there's no minimum threshold like with Interactive Brokers that you need to have a certain amount sitting here. Even if you have 100 euros sitting there, you're still gonna get the interest on that. So really, really nifty feature. And the amazing thing is they're also coming out with a Trading 212 card. Now, some of you watching may already have access to it. I believe in the UK they have. But yeah, for most others, it's going to be coming very soon. You can see there's no monthly fee. You have that true FX exchange rate. So if you want to travel internationally, you don't have Revolut, you can use your Trading 212 card to have that amazing currency conversion fee, especially on weekends. You're still going to be better off than Revolut even. You have 13 different currencies, 1.5% cashback in the beginning. Afterwards, it's still going to be 0.5%. So really some attractive stuff. Plus, of course, the money that you have sitting in your account, still going to collect that sweet interest. So yeah, in terms of overall benefits, I think that really goes to Trading 212 that round. And the next category we look at is a very important one that I always recommend all of you to check before you open a new broker. And that's the ability to transfer your portfolio out of the broker. Now, most brokers allow you to transfer your portfolio in because obviously they have an interest to manage your money, but also have the option of transferring your shares and portfolio to another broker without having to sell it. And a lot of brokers unfortunately don't let you do that. I was in the same situation, for example, with Revolut, which is why I don't recommend it anymore for stock trading, because there you can't transfer it to another broker. I had to literally sell my portfolio. If there's taxes to be paid, you pay the taxes and then you rebuy them in a new broker. So with this, let's have a look how those two brokers handle portfolio transfers. And Interactive Brokers is actually done really well. All you do is transfer and pay, and then you go over here into transfer positions. And then of course you can have incoming, where you transfer your shares from another broker into Interactive Brokers, or outgoing. So that's the very important part. So you can just click on this over here and then obviously select, which region your broker is located in. Let's say all other regions. So obviously it depends where your broker is located. Then you go ahead, free of payment, transfer of global securities. Go ahead, select that. And then from here, you have a whole number of financial institutions that you can choose from. And you can see a long list of brokers where you can basically transfer your portfolio to. Now, obviously, those brokers also have to support incoming transfers, but most likely if they're listed here, they do. So that's really, really powerful. And I think that really is a strong point of interactive brokers. And one of the main reasons why I feel very comfortable keeping a lot of capital over here, because I know I can easily transfer in the future my funds to another broker if I ever wanted to. Now, moving on to trading 212, I'm very happy that in recent times, not so long ago actually, they introduced the option of having outgoing portfolio transfers as well, which is really powerful. For me, that was previously always a point of contention where I wasn't really sure, but now that they have it, I'm really happy with this. Now, obviously they have incoming as well, but if you go into outgoing over here, you can see how simple it is basically, and they run you through the process of how it works. And the cool thing is, from their side at least, it's free of charge. Now, if you go on the website, you will see a whole list of supported brokers that they're working with right now. Now, sadly, at the moment, you can't transfer your stock portfolio to all the possible brokers out there, but you can see over here, you have cash transfers, ISA only, and cash transfers and stock transfers. So obviously you want to focus on this list over here, and it's actually quite a long list for a time being, and a lot of them are being listed over here. For example, even you can send it to Trade Republic if you wanted to, Saxo Bank, Morgan Stanley, Monzo, so some really big names out there that people use. Unfortunately, at this stage, it's not quite possible to send it to interactive brokers. So I tried doing that, and unfortunately it didn't go through. When I tried to start the process through interactive brokers, it was actually listed inside interactive brokers that Trading 212 was available. But unfortunately, as this page says over here right now, Trading 212 does not allow the transfer to interactive brokers. Hopefully it will come in the future, but for time being, those on the right over here are your available options if you wanted to. Now, I did find, for example, you could technically transfer your funds from Trading 212 into XTB, which is another broker, and from there you could transfer it into interactive brokers. Now, that might be a bit more cumbersome and involve a couple of fees, but if you're really wanting to wish to transfer your portfolio from Trading 212 into interactive brokers, then that option could be a potential way to go about that. Now, obviously, I could go into so many more areas of a broker comparison to look at, but hopefully these are some of the biggest points as a potential point of consideration. Of course, security-wise, both of them are really renowned brokers, have been operating for many years, interactive brokers being stock listed even in the US. Both of them have great protection limits. Again, they depend a little bit on country to country and which region you're based in, but both of them, rest assured, they're really safe. They have segregation of your funds to their own company assets. So in case they go bust, your fund's gonna be safe and will be transferred to another broker. So I feel very confident with both of them. That's why I have obviously quite a bit of money sitting with them. But overall, what they recommend for whom to go with. Now, I think if you're really starting off first time and never invested in a stock or ETF before, then I think Trading 212 is probably going to be your best bet because it's just so user-friendly, so easy to get started and not so overwhelming. I even forgot to mention both of them offer you recurring purchases. So you can set it up once and then basically every single month or every single week, however you wish, it goes ahead and buys those stocks or ETFs that you tell it to buy automatically. You just have to make sure you have money in your account. So that's really, really powerful. So for pure beginners and intermediaries, I think Trading 212 is an amazing option. And also for people who have very little budget to invest, because you want to be avoiding the fees, right? Because the higher fees, that goes out of your profitability. And especially with smaller amounts, you can really start feeling that. Now, on the other hand, interactive brokers is for people who really want to take investing more serious. And for many, many years. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30 years. I really want to build up a sizable portfolio. There's a bit of a learning curve, but I personally made a number of videos around this topic. So if you watch them, I think you easily get a hang of it. And as I said, it's not rocket science. It's just a little bit more cumbersome than some of the other platforms. But at the same time, you really have a player that is globally available, that's arguably one of the biggest and largest stockbroker in the world, operating for many, many years. I feel really, really comfortable with them. Yes, I pay a little fee, but obviously the higher your investable amount is, the lower as a percentage the fee is. And I'm happy to pay that, knowing that my money is safe and invested for the long term with them. So yes, overall, obviously I can really 100% recommend both of the brokers. I personally use both the brokers with my own money, and ultimately the choice is yours. There are little nuances over there. If you like the benefits of a card and cash on interest, you can use also Trading 212, or do like I do as well, right? Why not have both? I'll continue to use both, to invest into both, because also, worst case, one of them does go down. Obviously, I know that my funds are safe. They will be recovered and transferred somewhere else. But in the meantime, I can continue operating, having the other broker account as a backup. And of course, if you want to check out any of them, then please use my links down in the description below. Really helps out the channel a lot. And for example, Trading 212 will even give you a free share valued up to 100 euros to get you started. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.